I'm very thrilled to be here. I heard about the conference, that this is the best journalism conference in the world. And I confess that it took me a long time to come here, but it's great to be here, and I enjoyed it very much. So that's my title. And first, I want to introduce you this man, Chinese President Xi Jinping. He looks a little like Big Brother watching you, but after all, he took charge of a new cybersecurity group that was created last year, and he took over in February. And this just shows that the importance that the Chinese leadership plays on the internet. Now, when this was set up, and even here in the report, it said that this about cybersecurity. It's about cyber war. Those are the exact words they said. But it gets people worried because, managing the internet, what's the Chinese government going to do? And people are especially worried because under Xi Jinping, since he took over a year ago as also double as the president of the country, of the government, we've seen an unprecedented crackdown of the internet and of free speech in the past year. Now, there's an online rules was enacted. Weibo once was very robust, is often compared to as the Chinese version of Twitter, but actually Weibo is more robust than Twitter. But Weibo has been silenced in the main. There were a lot of arrests for speech crimes, news sites were blocked, and the government has taken a very tough line on foreign correspondents and threatening with them with refusing to give them the visa, because under the current arrangements, they have to apply for their journalist visa every year. So there was a lot of panic towards the end of last year. Most of them get their visas eventually. Only a couple were not allowed to work as a journalist. Now, and so just to give you some example of the censorship that's going on. Now, in the past couple of weeks, there's been massive protests against a chemical plant in Maoming, a city in northwest Guangdong, in southwest, in the Chinese southwest. It's a small city with 5 million population in the metro area. And this is one of the pictures of the protests, where people were very much open in the public. And this picture is taken from Sina Weibo, but it's blocked. And if you search on the Weibo, Maoming, PX, name of the town, you will see this in Chinese, that according to relevant laws and policies, the results are not shown. And this is quite typical. And then at the university, in my department, this is one of research we're doing. That we go behind the Weibo using the API to collect the Weibo, the entries that were deleted. You use a time lag, and then you have entries that were there at one time, and then later that's deleted, and this is what's deleted, and you have someone posts on the Weibo, say, please share information. The media is not allowed to distribute information. And it's deleted at this time. But before it was deleted, it was retweeted at least 147 times. That means information actually is getting out, right? At least 147 reposting has gone out. And there's another example to show you that's part of our research. This is original, the picture that was posted. It was posted at 13:29 hours, and it was deleted at 14:22 in about an hour time. So, but an hour is a lot of time. A lot of information can get out. But this is what's happening. And now, the government also passed a law, not passed a law, by the way. It's a Supreme Court issue an interpretation of a standing regulation to say that if you spread rumors on the internet, you're liable to criminal prosecution. If it's been read 5,000 times, or if it was reposted for 500 times, you're liable to be in jail, to put in jail for 3 years. But it was interesting that this the cartoon was put up there by Xinhua. It was printed by Xinhua, the state news agency. Okay. And the tongue, there's 4 characters there, basically said internet rumor. You're not supposed to have rumor on the internet. And hundreds were targeted in online bliss, and there were people that were arrested. And this is supposed to be a scene of parents educating the children to immune them against rumor. So this is, you see the 500 words there. So it turned out that the first man, actually he's a teenager, he became the first person to be arrested. He was left at home. He loved to play on the internet, teenagers, very smart. He was arrested for posting so-called rumor on the internet. And that raised a storm of protests around the country, and he was arrested, and then he was released. Or he could be put in jail for 3 years. And so I can give you more example, but you got the idea. And then plus, there's a lot of hazards of reporting, putting together information, and this is the New York Times who did this story on the wealth of the relatives of former Premier Wen Jiabao. So let's see, it was blocked once the story was printed. One of the finding of, let's see, yes, I have it here. One of the finding was the investigative report was that you have about, does this work? Yes, yes. His 90-year-old mother somehow has shares in a state-owned insurance firm valued at $120 million US. And so these are all his relatives who are just some kind of wealth. And there's no allegation of his misdeeds, but this is the picture of the family. And some of them, we call them princelings. And so the New York Times site has been blocked until now. And the site was also blocked soon after the New York Times launched its Chinese site. And that's still being blocked. And then Mike Forsyth is one of the reporters at that time. And he said all the stories are documented. Now, what it means is that I'm bringing up this New York Times story, and that is a game changer in reporting about China. Yes, we know that, we suspect that, or we know that the princelings are involved in wealth. There may be corruption, but the difference is that it's documented. And documented and using available documents. What it means as China becomes more open, as it becomes adopting capitalist ways, there's certain logic in it because you have more documents. You have company registrations. You have company reports. If you got listed on the stock market in Hong Kong or in New York, you have to file reports. Right? And more informations are become available. And for instance, this is the website of the actual Beijing company registration. You can actually go there to search for information. So this is not, so it means that there's also progress. There's, this is the another website by the Beijing municipal government where you can go there and look. And their resumes are posted. There are histories of companies posted. The land registration, land purchases information there. This is another website. It's by the Supreme Court, People's Court, where you also have court documents. So there's a contradiction with the government. On one hand, it wants to control information. On the other hand, the logic is that more information is available for reporters. And so not only international reporters, not only the foreign media has been looking into these documents, Chinese newspapers has been using these documents to look for the money in the classic sense of following the basic principle, investigative journalism or good journalism of follow the money. Who has what? Who owns what? So this is he's drawing the map of the land issues in Beijing. So all this is happening. But there's also events that's quite disturbing. Peter Humphrey, he was his former Reuters reporter who set up his own due diligence firm in Shanghai. He was arrested. He and his Chinese wife were arrested last July. He's still in jail. Now, he was charged with compilation, purchasing, and other methods of illegally to acquire and sell large amount of citizens' personal information. Now, the question, of course, is when does journalism, investigative journalism, end, and where and due diligence begin, and stealing information begin, and so there was no open hearing yet, and then he was paraded on state TV, CCTV, shown here, admitting his crime, admitting that he did have done something wrong. And this is a case, it's very scary. Now, there's another fallout from investigating reporting, reading the documents, following the money. This is very American-centric, in the sense that this is, in the sense that for those people who follow China story, who followed investigating reporting issues, the Bloomberg self-censorship killing of the story has been in the news a lot in the past, almost since end of last year. Now we know that when journalism became the news, it's not a good sign. Journalists stay behind the news. When journalists became the news, that something is not very right. And here we have Ben Richardson, who together with 3 other Bloomberg reporters spent 8 months or 6 months doing an investigative story on a very rich man in China and his connections with the top government officials. The story was vetted by the lawyers, was approved by senior editors, and when it was ready to go to press, the top editors in New York say, no, it's not ready, let's withhold it. And here is the chairman of Bloomberg, who 2 weeks ago in Hong Kong admitted almost that it was the story was spiked or withheld for fear of offending the Chinese government, and because they have a terminal business in China. So the worry being that if the story was run, then China would retaliate and it will hurt its terminal business. So for the 4 journals involved, 2 reporters, 2 editors, one was resigned and now working for the New York Times, and Ben Richardson resigned a month ago at the end of February or early March, kind of in protest. So these are the hazards of reporting on China. Documents are there, more information available, but you do have all these odds against you. Now, then, luckily we have the digital, we have online. As the numbers that Glenn has mentioned, in terms of the digital, in terms of internet, China the numbers are huge. The numbers are huge. You have these are the numbers here, the number of internet users. 81% of them access the internet via mobile here, right? They may not use the iPhone, but the homegrown smartphones are cheap and affordable. They use instant messaging. Almost half of them use Weibo, and 355 million active WeChat users. I'm going to into WeChat a bit later. And they're also the avid mobile phone owners. So the latest number is 1.22 for a population of 1.4 billion. That means everyone has his phone, and which means that's not untypical of developing countries elsewhere, like Africa, like or countries just open up like Myanmar. The Chinese will leapfrog and jump to this digital world. Now, and this is the numbers to show the trend. You have 81% penetration, and these are the numbers of 500 million is the number of internet users who access by mobile. And so what it means is that the internet has created a tremendous space for journalists to express themselves, to share information, to collaborate among themselves or internationally. And I'm going to give you one example of this reporter, whose name is Luo Changping. And this is a clip taken from Time magazine, who call him the new corruption busters. Because Lu, this reporter, openly challenged a top official about his allegations of his stealing money from public coffer. The Chinese, and then because of his open challenge to this official, the government was forced to launch an investigation and got the top official, who's a real top railroad official, arrested and charged and shamed. And so Luo Changping made quite a lot of headlines when it happened, because it's really unusual for a reporter to openly challenge a top official. So I'm going to show, this is a short clip. I want to show you, this is Luo Changping. We can play this, right? Yeah, please.
结果发现，我做新闻的这个影响力远远要大于这个作者，一个作家可能写的一篇文章。大家都知道，在北京现在的雾霾天气是很糟糕的，但实际上比这个大气的雾霾更糟糕的是中国的政治雾霾。 这个政治雾霾已经使得中国的老百姓根本不知道，中国的纳税人根本不知道自己纳的税去了哪个地方。做新闻媒体，我们很多时候就是希望能够突破这个雾霾。不管政府愿不愿意做这么一个透明的工作，这个时代已经来临了。技术赋权已经给了我们一个非常好的一个机会，这个步伐没有谁能够阻挡得了的。透明度这个事情对中国，我相信是一个非常重要的一个事情。正如我所提出的信息反垄断一样的，我们需要政府的每一步用的每一笔钱做的每一件事都能够在阳光下进行，这是我们所希望看到的一个透明度。
Let's see. This clip was made by Transparency International when he was awarded a named for his courage in exposing wrongs in government. There's a little, the translations are good, the subtitle, except that on there's a line, he said the access to technology, something has given us the tools. In Chinese, actually, he's a more appropriate translation would be technologies has empowered us. Technology has empowered us. It's very powerful lines, right? And why he's feel so empowered? Now, so he went to get his award from Transparency International. When he came back, he lost his job. And they didn't exactly fire him, but in a very classical, not so Chinese, or actually not so Chinese fashion, is that he was moved from the editorial department to a research department. So he removed from his post. Now, but he was, this is what he's doing now. So, but he kept writing on his Weibo platform, Weibo. He has two, one on Tencent Weibo, one on Sina Weibo, the two most popular. And on one Weibo, he has 710,000 followers. On the other one, he has 396,000, almost 400,000 followers. That means on these two platforms, he has almost 1 million followers. Right? Everything he writes reach out to 1 million. Not only that, he's publishing actually on 4 platforms. One is Baidu Baijia. Baidu, another leading internet company, internet search company. It has a platform. He published there. Tencent Weibo, we saw it. WeChat, this is new, so he's also published there. Sina Weibo. So he, with these 4 platforms, that means anything he writes potentially can reach 1.2 million readers. Right? He doesn't need the newspaper. He still needs the newspaper, but he can keep doing things himself, right? Thanks to the internet, 1.2 million. And now we come to WeChat. I said earlier that Weibo is kind of dying, quieter. It's not so much dying, but because of a government crackdown, the government has taken down those who have most followers, right? Those influential writers on Weibo. Now, but then there's WeChat. And actually WeChat, give me one reason to get a nice iPhone. I think it's a 5S, you know. It's my excuse. What WeChat does is that it's unlike Weibo, which is on the web, right? Web-centric. This is mobile-centric. This is mobile. You can subscribe to it, and information will be pushed to you. And these are Luo Changping's, our reporter friend's personal channels. So he can set up his own channel and can write and publish. And WeChat also have very good analytics. And this figure shows that every day, on this day, which is March 7, 89,000, almost 90,000 unique visitors went to his site, went to this here. And 3,000 went to the longer story, go in to read the story, and 7,000 reposted, retweeted the story. This is daily, every day, right? There's also a figure on March 6, if you can see it. On that day, actually has more readers. There's 96,000 readers. Right. Now, and these are his pages that he posted on this little phone. You can also sell ads on WeChat. These are his ads. I don't know how much you get paid for that, but there's a business model for you here, right? There's another an ad on an education service. So, and then the marketing collective online, they're covering 600,000 subscribers, right? Okay. So these are the numbers of WeChat, 355 million active users, right? It's launched in 2011, and the growth is very fast. That's what we have now. So what it means is that you have the internet has created tremendous space. It's a lot of potential. There are business model there, and a lot of room to explore and to conduct research. And it's like, I think the sayings from Chairman Mao, the challenges is hard, the road is tortuous, but the future is bright, thanks to the internet. I think I'll stop here and for the conversation.